Okay, welcome to Johnny the Greek's Free Real Estate. This is episode 9. This week I am joined with Mike Woellert at Mike_Woellert on Twitter, writer for 4for4, founding father in IDP Twitter, landscape. He's a constant guest on Big Nickel podcast. You guys have that new one, The Hand in the Dirt. You guys know who he is. Say hello to Mike Woellert. Mike, how's it going?
What's up, everybody? I think it's Shoot the Gap, and yeah, it's Shoot the Gap. I seem to be a little bit everywhere. I'm kind of who's someone who's just always seems to be everywhere. Miles Teller seems to be like in every movie or someone like that. I'm just kind of everywhere, it seems. But yeah, thanks for reaching out and having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
I was like shooting the shit and just talking about things other than fantasy. So this hopefully this will be some fun stuff, and hopefully I won't get either of us canceled tonight.
Oh, that's fine. That actually leads me to my next point. So this is a free fire zone. You guys all know this. It's episode 9. We're probably going to drop some F-bombs and say something terrible. Keep that in mind. If you got kids, put headphones on them, put headphones on yourself. This is not safe for work. Let's get into it. Mike, what have you been up to since the season?
Oh God. I always like to take some time off after the season just to kind of decompress. Usually I'm like right around the beginning of August, right the preseason starts, right into the time week 1 starts. It's like, yes, pumped, ready to go. I'm taking screenshots of like, here, I'm ready for week 1. And then by week 8, I'm like, I need this fucking season to end. I'm just done. I'm in way too many leagues. I'm mentioning the same goddamn people over the waiver wire, and it's the same people, and I'm getting asked the same questions over and over. I need this season to end, and they freaking added another week, and I've got one more week of insanity. So there's that. I don't know if you've seen it's a Samuel Jackson movie. It had Samuel Jackson and this other woman, blonde hair. Oh God!
Was she's in like chains or something?
Yes.
Black Snake Moan.
Black Snake Moan. And there's just that scene and the picture that went around where Samuel Jackson is just disheveled. He's in a tank top and he's just looking like, and that's pretty much me by week 8 or 9. So luckily I don't, since 4for4 is mostly redraft, like right after the Super Bowl, it's like, you can kind of decompress and kind of let your love of football kind of get back, you kind of put the thing, you get the engines back to neutral and kind of let your love of football, like, all right, no more football for a while. I don't care really about the USFL, so I haven't really been watching much of the USFL. So I just kind of let the engines get to neutral. And then usually right around March is usually kind of when I start paying attention a little bit. I'll start watching some highlights, watching some film, watching some tape, whatever you want to call it, of some other rookies. And so really just kind of what I've been up to, just just kind of getting back into kind of the swing of things. And every year football season comes quicker. I mean, already now, OTAs have already begun, and mini camps are beginning soon. And training camp's going to be here, and football is just that constant engine that just never stops making money. Everybody loves it. I mean, come on, they turned the schedule release into a friggin' TV event.
I know, it's crazy, right, man? But you got a good point. There's got to be a rhythm to it, or you get burnt out. I don't know how these people do like all year football. I gotta, it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, and at some point, and you're just saying things just to say things at some point, and that's what a lot of it seems like Twitter's become. It's just a lot of just saying things just to say things. You all are too low on this guy. I'm like, all right, thanks, great, that's fantastic advice, thank you. Or this guy scored this many points, you don't even care. I'm like, no, I don't. That's last year. I'm done with last year. I'll review some things of last year, like these defenders did this, and these schemes help to put position. This is something you want to pay attention to, but it's like, okay, great, fantastic, yeah, I don't care right now, whatever. So I think I joined Twitter in 09, and
Ooh.
it's
Yeah, what was Twitter like in 09? Let's start there. I'm gonna go off script a little
well,
bit. Tell me
what
about
Twitter
Twitter
was
back
like in
then.
09.
Yeah.
It wasn't as, from what I can remember, it was really not as like contentious as it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say things, and you'd get some decent back and forth. You wouldn't. There's always going to be that dark area where, like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yep. Yep.
But it was certainly, it wasn't like it is now. And obviously you've got a bunch of people who are younger in those days now joining Twitter, and so there wasn't as much, look at me, pay attention to me. That wasn't as much. And I don't know. I think I also fucked up my algorithm, because I'm getting shit now that I'm like, why am I seeing this? So I really need to go back and really try to fix my algorithm, because I'm just seeing shit that I just don't want to see.
Yeah.
And that's all my fault. Everybody that says that they're seeing things that they don't, it's your fault. It's your fault. You've done something. You need to just clean up your timeline, whether it's blocking people or muting people or really paying attention to what you're engaging with. It's your fault. Your timeline's messed up. It's nobody else's fault. And if you're following people that you don't like, I don't also get the hate follow, like you hate follow. So I don't have time to just hate follow and people that respond to everything. I'm like, how do you have time for that shit? No,
Right.
I don't. And I don't have time for it, and I don't have the energy for it. And it's just a lot of wasteful energy that I just don't have time for. And I think just one of those things, I guess, as you age and you get older, you just don't give a shit about things. And it's like, if I see something that bothers, I don't care. I just scroll right past it, whatever. All right. Or, oh, great. I'm just going to mute that person. Done. I don't need to see it again.
That's it, man. That's the way to do it, right? You got to curate your own timeline. Just
curate your own timeline and just stop letting stupid shit bother you. If someone has, oh my God, they've got, so what? They have Christian McCaffrey number 2 and you have him 10. Who gives a who gives a fuck? Don't.
Definitely. I could see how that's changed over the years, no doubt. And you're one of the originals. You've been doing this for a minute. But we will get to that. That's on the list. Let me start back a few months ago though.
Yeah.
How'd you like that Super Bowl? Were you happy the Rams won? Who were you pulling for? And then Deshaun news. How do you feel about Deshaun news?
Okay, this is you're going, we're 8 minutes in and you're already gonna get me canceled. Fantastic. Thank you. Anyway, the Super Bowl was fine. It was the Rams and who?
Bengals, yeah.
Bengals, okay.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a slight at Cincinnati. I really totally forgot.
No, it was a good game. It's tough to yeah.
It was a good game. From a petty, I came at it from a pure petty standpoint. I did not want the Bengals to win because I'm AFC North in Cleveland. I did not want the Bengals to win.
Right.
I'm fully admitting that I'm petty and I did not want the Bengals to win. At the same time, though, again, on the other side of the pettiness, is like, goddamn, OBJ's on the Rams and he's going to win a goddamn ring.
Right.
From complaining about everything and getting his way and being released, he's now going to win a friggin' ring. And he was on his way to like the game of his life.
Yeah.
Until he got hurt, and that sucked that he got hurt. I'm never happy to see somebody get hurt. It sucked.
Right.
But yeah, I kind of was happy the Rams won. Because like I said, I was just out of pure pettiness. I did not want the Bengals to win.
Yeah, no doubt. And then you guys made the splash of the offseason with the Deshaun signing. And personal preference is one thing, but football move, I mean, you got to admit, like,
I mean, football balls.
Right.
Total balls move. And it's saying, yes, we're doing what we can to win. And when it came out that Watson was out of Cleveland, I was like, okay, sucks, but I kind of am kind of glad I kind of don't have to deal with the crap storm that I know is going to come along from it.
Yeah.
And then, it was what was it? I think it was just a Friday late afternoon.
Yep.
There's that tweet. I'm like, is that A. Darn Schefter or Adam Shefty or Adam Schefter with like a 3 and an R? I'm like, no, there's a blue check there. That's a blue check, and he's got millions of followers. And I'm like, holy crap. They got him. And I texted my buddy. I'm like, dude, we got Deshaun Watson. He's like, no shit, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, no, he decided to come to Cleveland. And he's like, wow, what happened? I'm like, Browns gave him 230 million reasons to take the trade. It's basically what that's basically what you now had to do. And I was actually, I was fully on board with giving Baker another year. He had 2 bad years, 2 good years. The one constant everybody said, the one constant with the problem was the injury, because I'm not going to pretend I know how football players feel. It's like, oh, it's the non-throwing shoulder, it shouldn't matter. I'm like, no, there's a lot of motion when you're playing quarterback. It had to affect him in some way. So I was ready to give him that 5th year. He, it was $18 million, whatever. So I was ready to give him that. I was fully on board with him and him coming back. And I knew the other quarterbacks weren't going to come here. I knew Russell Wilson wasn't going to come here. I had a feeling Aaron Rodgers was going to go back to Green Bay. Not quite sure who else was made available but it was pretty insane to see some big names get moved. Matt Ryan, Russell Wilson get traded. Yeah. So those are some big names. But when it finally settled and Watson came to Cleveland, I'm like, all right. I never really I didn't question being a Cleveland fan. I'm like, you know what? It's a shitty thing it's a shitty thing about the NFL. The NFL and the teams and the owners, they care about one thing. That's all that they care about: money, and they care about winning. And and that's really it. That's all that they care about. And unfortunately, you really have to separate the people that you're rooting for, because one, we don't know how, on the surface, Matt Ryan could be looks like a great guy. If it came out tomorrow that he,
it's like a murderer,
was like just did seedy things, I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. We don't know how these players are. Right. So I'm not buying a jersey. One, I don't buy jerseys because it took only once when I bought a Kellen Winslow jersey. So that was it for me.
Yep.
So, and I don't buy quarterback jerseys. That's just a kiss of death. So I wasn't going to buy a jersey anyway, but you just kind of got to separate and just, you root for the team. And I will not begrudge or get in fights about how to be a fan. If you are out, okay, I get it, and I'm not gonna try to talk you out of it and say you're a bad fan. If you're out, I get it. I can almost guarantee that by week 8, if he doesn't get suspended and they're 8-0, that you're gonna probably be watching.
Yep.
But I do believe there, though, is a section of Browns fans that probably given up, and I can't. I do. I root for I root for the team. I can't do it. I can't give up, and I'm not going to. It sucks that this is the stuff that we're talking about instead of like the football stuff. Like, dude threw for 4,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions the last time he played football. And that's the guy that we got. So everything will just at least for me, it won't. We win a Super Bowl with him. I'm not going to asterisk it, but there'll always be that.
Yeah.
He's
So
he's a bad guy. But look at all the year. Look at
that's
look at all these
everywhere.
teams. It's
Yeah.
it's everywhere, and
Right.
everybody has done crappy things. And yeah, he's probably not a good guy, but it just stinks. I mean, it stinks, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I'm
And
with
it's
you.
up to if the NFL and the league wants to change,
Yeah.
they would completely reinstall a no tolerance policy. All right, if you do this, that's it. You're done. But if you could throw the ball for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns, you know what, you're going to get a pass. Because if Deshaun Watson was Josh Dobbs, he would have been cut. Yeah, last year he would have been cut.
Right.
So I think it's just the environment of the NFL, and that said, I really hope he's not suspended a year. But you know what? I get it if he is. I don't think that's going to happen. But the NFL has kind of done this to themselves by treating certain, it's going to happen. Everybody player gets the special treatment. But if they really wanted to clean up their image, and really be taken seriously and take these things seriously, they would institute some sort of a zero tolerance policy and try to clean things up. But as far as the owners being angry that the Browns gave Watson $230 million guaranteed, I don't care about that. I don't care about what the other owners think. I mean, did you really think when Patrick Mahomes' next contract comes up, he's not going to want a fully guaranteed contract?
Right.
This isn't the Browns didn't open a can of worms here. Joe Burrow is going to want a fully guaranteed contract. Justin Herbert is going to want a fully guaranteed contract. They're going to have to pay it. Lamar Jackson is going to want a fully guaranteed. That's just the road things are down. And I mean, the Browns had to give it to kind of a scumbag, but that's what they had to do to bring a top 5 quarterback over. They had to offer that. So we'll see what he does to repair his image. If he can repair his image, probably won't ever repair his image with everybody, but it just kind of is a bummer. It happened to my team, but I'll still root them on, and I will be cheering them on every Sunday.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Let me parlay that into expectations for the season. So, assuming it's not a season long, if there even is one, like 4, 8 games, what's the expectations? What do you think out of this season?
If it's 8, I'm hoping Brissett can at least keep them afloat. 3-5, 4-4, and then from there, I would probably imagine a 10-7, probably 10-7. If he's not suspended at all, I've got him probably at about 11-6, 12-5. The AFC is just,
seriously.
I mean, it is a murderer's row of talent. The amount of talent that migrated from the NFC to the AFC is just insane. And the amount of elite players, not even talking quarterbacks, elite players that were just moved like for almost nothing. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
I mean, so many big names were moved. So it was a pretty crazy offseason.
Yeah, no doubt, man. All right, let's start at the beginning then. So you've been a Cleveland fan your whole life, I'm assuming, and then what was that? Was that a family thing, or how'd you get into football?
Pretty much a family thing. Started watching football, I think, when I was 8 or 9. Started watching baseball. My grandpa, boy, God rest his soul, never saw anybody. Didn't see. I think, obviously saw some championships, but didn't see any later in his life, and would always complain about the Indians' ownership. And I think my mom was more the Browns fan, but when Art Modell fired Paul Brown, I think that's just what set him over the edge with that. And he was more of a baseball person than football. But I don't know, just something always about football. I always gravitated towards football over over baseball. I like baseball. Watching the Cavs a little more now that they're getting a little bit better. But yeah, I always gravitated towards football.
Yeah, nice, man. What was the Cavs championship like here in Ohio when that happened?
Oh God. So I'm taking full responsibility for the Cavs championship. So just let it be known that I'm the reason why they won. It wasn't LeBron, it wasn't Kyrie's shot. I think I get a statue. So that year, I think it was so I was at home. So the first couple of games, I have a really hard time watching basketball. I can't handle the pace and back and forth. It's just too stressful. So I think for the first couple of games, I don't think I actually watched any of the finals. I would just kind of I would kind of flip on and see and then flip off. I can't handle the swings back and forth. So the Saturday after they went down 3-1, I went to Charleston. We went to Charleston to visit my parents. I'm like, all right, Cavs are down 3-1. We're going to lose to the fucking Warriors again. I don't need to worry about a parade, whatever. And I went down. So I get down to South Carolina and I see on Sunday that I think that was the game. So game 5, Draymond Green got suspended. I'm like, okay. Right. So again, I'm in Charleston. I'm not watching the game. And they won. Okay. Well, now they're back to Cleveland. Okay. So game 6, don't watch the game, and the Cavs win. Like, okay, so we're going to game 7. We were supposed to leave Charleston I had to get back to Charleston, or I had to get back home because obviously I had to work on Monday. So I'm like, all right, I might have to take Monday off because I have to stay in Charleston because they're going to win. Like, no, but I have to get but no, we have to get back I think we had to get back to Cleveland or something. Maybe I'm like, all right. So I had to do this whole reverse engineering jinx thing. So I'm like, all right, so I'm in Charleston. I'm not watching the game and they're winning. So I have to go back to Cleveland and I have to watch the game because when I'm in Cleveland and I'm not watching, they lose. I think I watched some of the game that they actually won, and that was in Cleveland. They won, so I'm like, all right, I have to watch the game, and I'm just gonna have to either drink. I'm gonna have to take some sort of heart medication because this game is going to stress me the fuck out. So I'm waking. First of all, that Sunday lasted. Jesus Christ, that Sunday lasted like a gazillion hours before game time. And I think I played the Todd Rundgren song "Just One Victory." Like, all right, let's just fired up the game, and I muscled through it, and I watched it, and I had to get up every once in a while, go back and forth, and I was like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I'm watching the Cavs game. It's game 7. It's like, stressed out." So she's like, "Well, then just kind of turn off and just." I'm like, "No, it's this whole reverse jinx thing. You'd think I'm crazy, and I can't tell you." So I'm watching the game, and I think they were down by 8 or 9 at the half. I'm like, "Fuck." And they opened the half up with, I think J.R. Smith opened up the game with a couple of threes. And, we're heading into the 4th quarter. I'm like, oh, God. And that clock is just like, oh, my God, I just see this clock then. Mm-hmm. And then I'm watching. And then all of a sudden, all of this shit just happens. LeBron's block. And then all of a sudden, Kyrie's 3. And I'm like, holy shit, we're up now. And in the back of my mind, though, I'm thinking, this is fucking Cleveland, though. And LeBron went up for a shot, and Draymond fouled him pretty hard. And LeBron came down on his wrist really bad. And he's just writhing in pain, holding his wrist. And I'm like, okay, this is how it's going to fucking end. He's going to get hurt, and this is how we're going to lose. And he's just writhing around. And then all of a sudden he gets up like nothing happened. I'm like, okay, because of course he's a freaking drama queen. Every injury he's ever had, he's acted like he's been shot in the foot or he's been shot in the back. Every single injury you watch, he acts like it's just like he's been shot somewhere. So he missed. So I think they were up by 2 or 3, and he missed one of the free throws, and then he made one, and I think then they were up by 3, and then all of a sudden, I mean, there's still seconds left. I'm like, oh, like this game's gonna go to friggin' overtime. And then,
oh no!
And then Kevin Love, of all people, shuts Steph Curry down with some defense that I hadn't seen like ever. And like he turned into the defensive player of the year on Steph Curry all of a sudden. And so Curry misses a shot, and then the shot goes over in the corner, and they miss, and they were up by 4, and then I see the clock hit 0, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, holy shit, the clock's 0. Clock 0, we're up 4. That's it. I'm like, holy shit, they did it.
Oh man.
And so, you know, it's like 11:30 at midnight in the house, and I'm running through the house, and I think I woke everybody up. And at the time, nobody gave a shit about sports. So it's like, I'm just screaming to myself. And then I called my mom and dad up, and it's midnight, and I called them up, and I'm like, they won. There's a champion. They're so, you know, my mom and dad are up. They turn the TV on, and I'm like, they're lifting a trophy. There's a trophy. So I took the day off for the parade.
Nice.
Got downtown at about 6 a.m. And then I don't think Cleveland was expecting a parade because they just threw some shit together. I don't even know what they just you could tell they just threw something together because they had no plans for a parade. You could tell they just threw shit together. Plus they've never done a parade before, so what the hell are they? I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I ended up being at like the very tail end of the parade because of where I could park. I could park for free because I work downtown, so I just parked for free and just parked there. So I'm like, all right, cool, I got a good spot. And then the parade started late, and then by the time it started, my spot turned into like me being 10 people deep now.
Ooh.
Because the crowd's just filed in, and I mean, there had to have been 1 million people downtown.
Jesus.
And it was hot. It was hot. It ended up being like a brutally hot day. And but totally worth it.
Yeah, man. What was that? The totally first title, and how long was it for that?
Oh, it was since 64.
Whoa. Wow.
Since 64.
And a lot of people don't remember this. That was the Battle of the Bastards, Game of Thrones, that same night. Yeah. So that was like double good news. You know, that was good shit.
So yeah, I was like, I can't believe I'm actually seeing a championship parade.
Yeah.
And then the Indians almost won that year.
Right.
Yep. And ironically, they blew a 3-1 lead.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I was talking to my buddy while we were up 3-1. I'm like, are we about to become the city everybody hates? Like, are we going to become the asshole fans that everybody, you know? I'm like, because I'm cool with it. Like, are we going to become Boston? Like, we're just going to win and just expect it to happen? Because I'm totally cool with this.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. That's cool. You guys got to see one. So yeah, what do you do for work? You said you work downtown. What do you do?
Oh, well, I work from home now. Basically, I'm a digital marketer for a tech company. So they're in California. So obviously, I work from home. So yeah, cool company. Doing some cool things in machine learning. So, but yeah, digital marketing for them, and just got back from Orlando from a trip to meet a bunch of the sales and marketing folks. So had a big meeting. So, but yeah, that's kind of my career away from football, digital marketing.
Nice, man. That's good shit. What you got any kids, pets?
Yeah,
Anything?
two boys. Carter's 17, Mason's 14. Got a dog, Bunny, and yeah, Bunny the dog, and yeah, and about to celebrate 20 years of marriage here in a week, June
Oh,
1st.
that's awesome. What are you guys doing for it? Anything good?
Yeah, I'm trying to plan something.
I got you. We won't ruin that in
Yeah.
case. So that
Oh
sounds
yeah, because
good.
my wife's a big IDP guy. She's a big
Yeah,
follower of the pod, so I don't want
right,
to.
right.
I don't
You,
want to
you know what's
ruin
fun?
anything.
Some of the other guys have actually been scared to answer some questions honestly because they're afraid that their wife might get a listen. I don't know. I don't think that's you, but it's
No.
happened. So yeah, how did you get into IDP? Because that's not normal fantasy football, right? That's degenerate shit. How did you get
Yeah,
into that?
that's that. So way back when, before the Twitterverse, there was actually a bunch of sites that were actually named fantasyfootball.com, fantasybaseball.com, and it was all under this umbrella called Fantasy Planet. So I had joined that site on the forums. I was a member there. Sometimes I would sign up, but yeah, before Twitter, we had forums, and each forum had its own separate specialty where you could ask questions, and the moderators would get back to you. It's pretty wild. So there was an ID, there were IDP questions. I would ask them, there was an IDP forum, but I didn't really get into that one because I had not played IDP when I joined that forum, so I just never really bothered. But then there were a couple of guys that were really, really interactive. We're just answering questions, and that's what I would do. I would just ask questions, and I would answer questions. I would provide, just kind of my thoughts on fantasy, questions, who to start, who do I pick up. And then there were a couple of guys though. One, his name was Joe Everett, and on the site he was Go Broncos, and there was a forum for looking to start leagues, or I want to join leagues, so he was a writer at the time for the site, and he was just like, hey, I got this local league that is kind of disbanded, and it's a 12-team keeper IDP, and I got into it, and his name was Chris Labarge, and a couple of guys are like, yeah, I'm in, and and I'm like, you know what, screw it, I'm in. I'll try it. So we had a randomizer to see which team we got. And, I got the team. Lo and behold, I think I ended up with like Carson Palmer and LT on the team. So I was cool with that. So
Nice, yeah.
So IDP. I'm like, IDP was that defensive player. It's like, yeah, it's all defensive players. There's no team defense. So you draft the defensive guys. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll try it. Whatever. Didn't really do a whole lot of research into it. Like, all right, I'm just going to draft maybe defensive guys I know, whatever. So this is around 2007. So started my first draft. It was like it was like a slow draft. And so I think, let's see, I'm going to try to pull up the league here. So
What site were you guys using?
We're on MFL.
No shit.
Yeah, we were on MFL.
Wow.
So come on. So if we go to 2007, like I said, no idea what I'm doing. I'm just like, all right, cool, let's go. So I think I kept. I know I had LT and I know I had Carson Palmer. So my very first IDP pick was Paul Posluszny.
Oh, yeah.
And he was a rookie. That was his rookie year, and I think he got hurt. He must have, because he only had 43 points. So I think he got hurt. But followed up Paul Posluszny with James Ferrier, because why the fuck not? I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
And then totally not my philosophy anymore. After Ferrier, I went Sean Phillips, the big play guy who gets no tackles, which is the guys now who I rail against. And then and then I went Brian Dawkins.
Oh, okay. Yep.
But I don't know. I don't think he played very much because he only had 75 points. And then, hey, took a cornerback.
All
nice
right.
job, Mike. Yes. And then Takeo Spikes.
Ooh, yeah. I remember him.
Chiki Okiafor, who I had no idea who that was. Matthias Kiwanuka.
Oh, yep.
He was a defensive end, and I think he got switched to linebacker, but I know at the time he was playing end. And then I took Kamarion Wimbley because, got to have a Cleveland guy. And then went Quentin Jammer as I think one of my final IDPs. So it was not I did not have a good IDP draft my first time out. Everybody's I'm seeing everybody's drafting these, seeing the guys are drafting all these linebackers. I'm like, all right, whatever. I had no idea what I'm doing. And then I think I ended up trading Paul Posluszny, I think, for DJ Williams and I think Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
So yeah, my first IDP squad was not a very good one. But it was like, all right, I'm going to learn from this, and I'm going to see how everybody drafted, and I'm going to see how everything plays out, and I am going to get better at this because I liked it and it was fun. I liked it much better than playing than the team defense. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to see what I did wrong, and kind of going to see how everybody else drafted, and take a look at the scoring settings next time. do some actual research. So yes, I did not do anything. And then got had a much better draft the following year, and then I actually started just answering then questions in the forums and helping other people out, and it just kind of snowballed.
Yeah, nice, dude. Who were some of your favorite early guys? Those early years. Who were some of your favorite guys?
Playing in that, oh my God, you had Jared Allen, you had D'Amico Ryans, Patrick Willis.
Yep.
Ray Lewis was still even huge. Chad Greenway, John Beeson. Derek Johnson was like old man, but he was still a guy that would just, you could count on him for gobs of tackles. You had AJ Hawk. You had some really good. And then from the safeties, you had like Roman Harper, you had Jabril Wilson, Adrian Wilson. Let's see who else. You had
Palomalu,
you had
Ed Reed,
Palomalu, you had Ed
yeah.
Reed, Kirk Morrison.
Ooh, yes.
Gary Brackett.
Yeah.
Barrett
Jackson.
Barrett Rude.
Oh, Barrett Rude, yeah.
Yeah, Barrett Rude was a stud. You had DeQuell Jackson. I think I ended up getting DeQuell Jackson, and I had him on my team for a few years before injuries kind of took him out.
Yeah.
And London Fletcher. Fletcher was
the best.
Huge stud. Yeah,
huge. He was the best. Yeah.
Zach
there was Thomas.
Zach Thomas. Keith Bullock was good.
Yeah.
Brian Dawkins. Kerry Rhodes was good. Justin Tuck, Osi Umenyiora. Robert Mathis. Strahan was kind of on the downturn, but still decent. Yeah, it was a fun time. Trent Cole was actually very. He was like he was very. You could just count on him for 10 sacks every year. Julius Peppers played forever.
Yep.
But yeah, a lot of good guys. It was Urlacher, Briggs.
Oh yes, yeah, yep.
So yeah, there was a lot of good players. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I miss that old time IDP when it was just all linebackers and that was it.
It was like, yeah, linebackers. You want the 4-3 middle, the 4-3 weak side, and it was that. And then it was like print money. You draft those guys, and you're good. You didn't care about snaps. You just those were you 4-3 middle linebackers, 3-4 inside linebackers, 4-3 outside linebackers playing the will, and you're good. That's who you wanted. And draft safeties and print money.
If you had to make a Mount Rushmore, it could be old and new guys, just in general. What would your Mount Rushmore be? 4 guys, IDP.
I'd probably say Ray Lewis.
Ooh, yeah.
I'd probably have Lawrence Taylor. I'd probably have maybe Reggie White.
Ooh.
And then you know what? Just because dude cut his finger off to play back in the game, I'd probably put Ronnie Lott on there.
Yes. I love that. That's so true.
Dude,
fucking TJ Watt stubs his pinky toe and he's out 2 games. Ronnie Lott cuts his finger off.
I'm gonna cut my finger off. I don't care. Plug it back into place. I don't give a shit. But yeah, then of kind of some of the newer generation, like, I mean, you'd have to consider Patrick Willis and Luke Kuechly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even know who you'd put on from like I mean, maybe Aaron Donald.
Yeah. For modern guys, yeah, I mean Donald.
Yep. But yeah, it was. I do look back. I don't think I knew much about Patrick because Patrick Willis, I think, was a rookie in 2007, and I knew about him, but I didn't know about him. And then I'm taking the excuse that I was totally green. I think Patrick Willis went in like one of the final rounds of that draft. And the one guy, I think it was, I think his name was Sean. He drafted him, was like, how is this dude still available? This is like an IDP keeper league, right? And I'm like, okay. And then, yeah, dude ended up just being a flat out IDP stud every year.
Yeah, he was excellent. Everyone talks Kuechly, whatever. But Willis was just as good, man. He was just as good.
Yeah, I mean, 2007 had Beeson and Willis, but 12 you had Kuechly and David.
Yeah,
but Willis was just
monster.
Monster.
Yeah,
monster.
No doubt. What do you play any other fantasy sports, or what other hobbies do you have besides the fantasy stuff?
I dabbled in some DFS. I haven't played in a while just because I haven't really been paying much attention. But I mean, as far as like other hobbies go, I guess basically it's just watching Infinity War and Endgame whenever it's on freaking television. Those are just my days. It's like when it's on, it's like, all right, I guess I know what I'm doing for the next 4 hours. And I'm like, I don't care that there's 3 hours of commercials and I can flip on Disney Plus and watch it without commercials. I don't care. Just watching sports and just whatever. I don't have any. I guess I don't have any like major hobbies. I kind of got back into some card collecting, but it's few and far between. Just kind of, seeing what I could find at Target every once in a while. I guess you could say, got some collecting some Funko Pops recently, but that's tailed off a little bit. So it's just, doing what I can to keep up with what my kids are doing, trying to keep up with their interests. Um, but yeah, just kind of chilling, watching sports, watching Marvel, watching Star Wars.
Yeah, Kenobi
And
next
yeah,
week.
Friday this week.
Oh
Friday.
shit! Is it
Friday.
Friday?
Friday.
Oh,
2 episodes.
oh man,
2 episode premiere.
nice. That's gonna be awesome. So, all right, we've got a whole section for that. We'll get into that. So, the writing, the ranking. So,
Mhm.
that started with the forum, I'm guessing, or talk me through that.
Yeah, that actually kind of started with the forum. I started becoming much more active in the forum, responding to questions, um, and kind of just reached out to the owner of the site and just saying, hey, become a little bit more active. I'd kind of like to be either like a moderator or like an admin, and maybe even start like writing for you guys, or maybe doing some live chat, because at that time they had live chat. I'm like, I love whatever I can do. I really love the forums. I love the engagement. I love the interaction with all the members. So um, I'm happy to volunteer, whatever. And Craig Davis, he was the owner at the time, was like, yeah, why don't you do a couple live chats a week? We'll work around your schedule and kind of see how that goes. If you want to write, maybe do an article a week, and we'll kind of see how that goes. He asked me what I want to write about. I'm like, well, it doesn't seem, everybody's has all the offense stuff. I'd like to contribute some IDP stuff. So started contributing a waiver wire article, and then got a little bit more in depth, and then um, and then it just kind of ballooned, and he was losing some people, so I started writing and helping out with the rankings right around, I think, 2009, 2010. And and then I think the 11 lockout hit, and that really sucked. So he let a bunch of people go
Mm.
that year, but he kind of kept me around, mostly probably because I was cheap, and I admit it, whatever. But yeah, Craig Davis over at Fantasy Planet and fantasyfootball.com kind of gave me my first step.
That's awesome,
That's
man.
kind of where it started.
It's gone from there like a freaking rocket ship to now. I mean, if someone had to point at like the most important article in all of IDP, the landscape each year, I mean, the 3 down linebacker, that's up there. That's probably it. Like, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
it's a fun one to write. I enjoy it. And then I think after fantasyfootball.com, I think I went to, what did I go to? I went to Pro Football Focus. So I was there for 2 seasons, and then I should say my ego took over. I think I was passed over for a paid gig, and that didn't sit too well with me. And I dropped Jeff Ratcliffe an email, said, hey, I just started a new job, and I know this is going to sound like I'm taking my ball and going home, but I just started a new job. I've also got some side work going on, and I love football. I love football, but just continuing to do it for free is just, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, and not worth it anymore. I can't do it, and just kind of, it's like I can't do it. It's like, and he understood, and then kind of always felt bad about it. And I actually, what was it, a few years ago? We have that Kings Classic draft that's at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and he was, he's been in it, and I just kind of, met, and that was like the first time I'd ever met him, and it was great to meet you. And then once the draft happens, you don't have a whole lot of time, but we all get together at a B Dubs, and I just kind of said, hey, uh, I apologize. I probably came off as real unprofessional, and I hope I didn't come off as a dick, but if I did, I apologize. And just, it was just one of those things. And And he's like, "Hey, you don't need to apologize, but I appreciate it. It, shit happens. I get it." So, but obviously, sometimes can lead to other things. And yeah, I've been doing work with 444 since I think I want to say 2013, 2014.
Oh wow.
It started out just doing snaps,
Yeah.
and then I think started really in 2014 is when I started doing the article and rankings for him. So I think I've been doing rankings for him since I want to say 2014 at least.
What's the? I mean, I hope you don't get pissed if I ask this, but what's the best you've done with the rankings? At the end of the year, you get the overall ratings.
Yeah, I think Fantasy Pros. I think it's either 2014, 2015. I want to say I finished like second or third in linebacker. I think in 20, I think I finished within the top 5.
Nice, man.
So I think 2021 was kind of bad. 2021 was kind of bad because I think Fantasy Pros, I got to see if I might have to use the actual platform for Fantasy Pros to do my rankings, because we at 444 our rankings engine goes by the MFL engine. So I can't rank TJ Watt as a defensive lineman or an edge guy.
Right.
I have to rank him as a linebacker. So I think Fantasy Pros allows you to rank both. So I think that kind of that just kind of messes up the accuracy, because I'm because my rankings integrate and go right to Fantasy Pro. So, if if I have TJ Watt as only a linebacker and I don't have him as a defensive line, I don't get the accuracy if he's finishing as a top defensive line. I don't, doesn't. So I got to figure out if I can upload directly into Fantasy Pro, see how I can do that. But yeah, my rankings are my rankings. I'm just kind of going by what I have.
Yeah.
With going by MFL's positions. So, but yeah, I think like I said, 2020, I think it finished top 5 overall. Because I don't think they break out the positions anymore for IDP. I think it's basically just IDP. So, but when they broke down the rankings, let's see I think I have it. I think I have it in my profile because I'm humble like that.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Hello, what are you?
Yeah, now it's just IDP now, and then when you look at the IDP, isn't it like DB, DL? LB?
No, I think it's just. I think it literally is just
IDP.
IDP, and you see, 1, 2, the teams and how they finish. So, I think that's just how they have the rankings. But, yeah, I finished 6th, and I finished 6th overall and 1st overall in linebacker rankings in 2014.
Nice.
Had a couple of okay years, but yeah, 2020 was top 5. I think I finished 4th.
Nice. That's good shit. Yeah. What if you had to name a few sleepers this year, who you got?
If I'm gonna go like really, really deep, I guess not really deep, but I mean, I think, I don't know. I think I might be, I don't know if I'm higher on Cody Barton than most. I think I have Cody Barton as my LB 14. I think he's obviously Seattle didn't do anything to address linebackers, so it looks like they're going with Jordan Brooks and Cody Barton. So definitely, so he's like, I mean, you gotta, he should get all the snaps that he can handle.
Yeah.
I guess whoever ends up playing the LB2 in Chicago, I think it's Nicholas Morrow, I think right now. Because they didn't really do too much to address linebacker. So, and I think I'm out on, like Perryman. I don't think Perriman's going to do what he did last year. I think I got him out. I think I maybe have him in my top 50, but I don't have him ranked high. I don't know. I don't think he's going to play as many snaps as he did, and I don't see it. So I'd probably say, yeah, those sleepers. I think you got Cody Barton. I actually do think Jamin Davis is going to have a good bounce back year. I think he's going to play more snaps. I think he's going to he could be that a 2-down guy, or not. Play the 2 linebackers and be kind of that a full-time guy. So, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to have much, and I don't think I'm going to have much of Denzel Perriman. If he repeats, great, but
yeah,
fucker came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that whole thing was weird. And didn't they get Jayon Brown in the offseason too? And
they got Jayon Brown, and Divine Diablo's going to probably play a little more up front. And I think I'm giving Patrick Queen one more year. I've got him still ranked relatively low, but I have him. I'm giving him one more year.
Yeah. Okay.
Something about him. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. What about are we shoveling dirt on Kenneth Murray this year?
I shoveled dirt on him last year. I don't think I'm gonna have any of them. I think I'm shoveling dirt on him. He's in a buried alive match, and Undertaker is going for the victory.
All right. How about some guys we're not shoveling dirt on? Your number ones this year. So who you got at inside linebacker 1 this year? If you had to guess right today.
If I was gonna say my ILB 1 is probably I have Roquan Smith.
Yep. I'm with you. No argument there. How about pass rush linebacker, outside linebacker?
Pass rush, I think it's probably gonna be TJ Watt again.
Yep. Also no argument. What about defensive end?
Defensive end, I think I'm hoping this is a year that Myles Garrett puts it all together.
Yeah.
I got Garrett as my DE 1. It's just so weird to just not have Joey Bosa and Danielle Hunter not looking at them, but it's strange. Like my top 10, like my whole top 20 defensive ends are really out of whack. Like I got Marcus Davenport as my DE 13.
Ooh, yeah. It's yeah, that change that was not a turd in the punch bowl. That was a full-on shit.
That was like 20 of them. That was like I ate some bad Chipotle.
Yeah, brutal. Ruined some fucking teams, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How about defensive tackle? Donald, or you got someone else?
Yeah, I'd probably Aaron Donald, but I do like I like Buckner. I love Jeffrey Simmons. And because of the shift with defensive end to linebacker, I got Sebastian Joseph Day at 14 overall in my defensive lineman rankings. So I don't know. I like his spot, but yeah, I like Donald, Buckner. I do like Sebastian Joseph Day. And I like Kenny Clark and Jeffrey Simmons. I think those guys. And I think Jonathan Allen always gets slept on too. I think he can still be solid.
Yeah, no doubt. What about safety? This is the one I haven't gotten the Derwin people are out there, and I'm a Derwin guy, but he gets dinged all the time. So
I got Derwin 1.
Yeah.
But I think oh God, what's his face? He went from Vegas to the Colts. Was it Gus Bradley? Did Gus Bradley go to Indy?
I don't know. I'm not in football mode.
Clearly. Yeah, so Gus Bradley went to the Colts. So I got Curry Willis at 4.
Ooh.
Because he did some wonders with Jonathan Abram, and he was on his way to becoming a top DB until he got hurt. So as long as Willis can stay healthy, I got him as my DB 4.
Yeah, I like that. Some people thought you were nuts last year with that Abram call. He had an excellent year. Excellent year.
Oh, yeah. I knew I was nuts for the call. I knew I was nuts for the call. And then they drafted Morig. Did you know Trevor Morig played almost 1,200 snaps?
Yeah, and it doesn't show up in the production. That's for damn sure.
No. Like, holy shit, he played between the regular season and the playoffs, he played almost 1,200 snaps.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. All right, good stuff there. What about corner? This is
I think Kenny Moore is the first corner that comes up
Yep.
in my rankings. So I think I got Moore as my DB 11. So he's like my CB 1. I don't know. I like Snead. I like Surtain. I like Terrell. There's so many guys. I'm completely fading Diggs.
Yep.
If I was in a quarterback required league, I would not touch Diggs.
Yeah, and the price is insane right now. Like I'd rather take AJ Terrell like rounds later and be fine with that. Yeah.
Yep.
So who's going to the Super Bowl and who's winning this year?
Who is going to the Super Bowl? I do think this is the year that the Bills get there.
Mm-hmm.
From the NFC,
I know.
I mean, I think it's Bills Bucks.
Ooh.
I think it's Bills Bucks. I think for some reason, I think Tom Brady's just going to go on that revenge tour, man.
Right. It's his last hurrah. Yeah. Yep.
But
I could see it.
But I mean, yeah, I think Bills Bucks. I would be surprised if the Rams got back though. I think it could be like Bucks Rams in an NFC Championship. I mean, they didn't really lose anybody, and they added Allen Robinson.
Yeah. Who wins? Bills, Bucks. Who you got winning?
I think the Bills get it. I think the Bills get it this year.
Nice. Yeah, I could see that. All right, we're shifting gears. Favorite movies and TV shows. I mean, anyone that knows you knows this, but let's say it out loud for the people.
Favorite boy. It's funny. Marvel has actually. I never thought there would be a series or a movie series or however you want to call it that would really push Star Wars. But boy, I think Marvel is over Star Wars right now.
Wow.
But it's Marvel, Star Wars, and then everything else like in that type of genre can probably go to hell. I couldn't care less about Harry Potter. Couldn't care less about Lord of the Rings. Like you see those, all right, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Marvel, Star Wars, pick two got to go. It's like, this is the easiest one. You can, I'll trash Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings all day. And I tell you what, if anybody from like the Marvel writers group or like who's ever in charge of like the storytelling, if any of those people ever like left Marvel, if I'm the WWE, I am giving those people whatever they want.
Yep.
Because they know how to tell a story, they tell a cohesive story, and they know how to long-term story tell. So if I'm WWE, those are the people I'm trying to fucking hire.
Yeah. Decade plus for each chapter, basically.
And every single movie somehow ties in. And I don't like how I got into Marvel was really odd anyway. Because my brother was there from the beginning. Because he started watching Hulk and Iron Man at the very outset. And he'd tell me about it. I was like, you should watch this. I'm like, oh yeah, because at that point I still think I was like, those are, they're for nerds. Even though I'm a Star Wars nerd, but I'm like, yeah, those are comic books. I'm not into comic books, whatever. So 2014, Guardians of the Galaxy, there was, Guardians of the Galaxy came out. There was, my son wanted to see Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, all right, whatever. And I'm watching this. I'm like, this isn't half bad.
Yeah.
No idea what the fuck I'm watching, but it's not half bad. It was a good movie. And I'm like, all right. Okay, it was a good movie. And then I told my brother about it. So we should watch some of the other ones. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I get around to it. And I never did. So yeah, Guardians was 2014. Then the second movie I saw was Ant-Man.
Oh,
And I'm watching that, and I'm like, this is really good.
yeah.
And that was actually, well, Paul Rudd can make anything good, but it was like,
Oh, yeah.
it's a really good movie. It was a lot of fun. And so I started, when you see the trailers for like, Civil War and Winter Soldier, I'm like, all right, those are cool. I'm gonna definitely see those. And I never saw them. Never, Age of Ultron, never saw those. Never, I'm like, oh yeah, never got to the theater, never saw them. And then 2017, I did. Let's see, 2017 was Guardians 2. So I saw Guardians 2, and then lo and behold, and then after Guardians 2, I went right into Infinity War. And because I'm like, all right, this looks like a pretty cool movie. And it was a cool movie, but
Yeah.
I obviously didn't understand anything that was going on because I'd only seen the 2 Guardians movies and Ant-Man. So I had really no. So I'm watching this. I'm like, all right, you gotta watch these movies. And so, right, once Infinity War came out, I think like TNT, FX,
Right.
all those stations, I think, just started playing all the Marvel movies. And so I think the next one I saw was Civil War.
Ooh, yeah.
And then that was good. I'm like, oh shit, that's why everything happened and why, they broke up and why was the cell phone and everything. And like, I didn't watch him really in any type of order. If it was on television, I watched it. So I didn't watch it really in any type of sequential order or any type of order. If it was on, I just started watching it. So, and I think then I just watched Ragnarok. I think it was on Netflix at the time. And so I'm watching Ragnarok. I'm like, this is, again, really good. And then, watching the end credit, you see at the end, the end credit, you see the ship. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit, that's
it.
That's how Infinity War. I'm like, holy shit, and I'm like, dude, you've missed out on all this stuff. So as soon as and then Lord, then it was all over at that point. I just watched it all and then just watch it all, and then everything else. Then everything then think at that point, anything else that came out. I mean, there wasn't much left after that. It was like, well, I saw Ant-Man 2 after Infinity War, and blown away by the end credit. I'm like, holy shit! By the end credit, Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I saw Captain Marvel in the theater.
Mm.
And then you watch Endgame in the theater, and
oh yeah, wow, right?
Talk about those 2 movies coming out at the right time, pre-pandemic, because those were movie events.
Yep.
Never to be recreated in any way, shape, or form ever again. All those movies because you watch this next phase of Marvel, it's like, I think everybody is just so like, I think now the expectations are just through the roof for all these movies.
Right.
And like, Eternal, I don't think I still have watched Eternals. I've seen some things on Eternals. I'm like, maybe I'll give it a watch. So maybe I'll give that a watch. But like, it's like, all right, well, we've gotten through almost a decade plus of these massive movies and this massive story. It's like, it's going to be another slow build. I think the only really high expectations of movies I have now are I've got pretty good expectations for Thor.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The next Ant-Man, and I know Guardians, I'm just gonna friggin' ball over, just because that was like the very first movie that I saw. My son Mason, he was hysterical after he saw it. because he started listening to all the Guardians music after that. So I know that's just going to be a sentimental, emotional thing. It's like, this is the last fucking movie of these guys.
Yeah.
And this was my first Marvel movie, and they're good movies. So I've got pretty high expectations of that. That one's going to be fun. But like, reading some or listening to some of the videos on like explaining some things. Now it's like, you've got this whole Avengers 5, Avengers 6. Are they going to be Secret Wars? You got Armor Wars now of like what happens when Tony Stark's tech gets in the hands of the wrong people. Then you've got these, like, okay, well, let's just skip all of this other stuff and let's get to that. But it's like, no, they're not going to do that because you've got this whole multiverse shit of stuff opening up. But yeah, it's pretty much Marvel and Star Wars. Yeah, Kenobi's coming out. That'll be fun. I read that the season 2 of Loki will probably be next year. So that was definitely probably one of the better series that have been out post MCU. And I enjoyed Hawkeye more than I thought I would.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Hawkeye was fun. I still have not seen an episode of Moon Knight.
It's a little weird, but I'm sure you'd like it.
But I'm probably going to skip Miss Marvel. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm with you. I might check it out just to see, but it just looks a little too like we're not the right age for it.
Yeah,
maybe.
I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as other shows, like, I grew up on Seinfeld, so I've always watched Seinfeld.
Oh yeah.
I can relate to everything happening in my daily life back to a Seinfeld episode. Every time I go to the grocery store and I see a black and white cookie, I take a picture of it and I send it to my dad. And I'm like, Dad, look to the cookie. So Seinfeld is one of my all-time faves. I still love The Office. Spin City is a show that doesn't get a whole lot of recognition, but that was a good one. And News Radio is also a very good show. News Radio was fantastic. I think it had Joe Rogan. I know it had Andy Dick. The dude that played the stapler guy in Office Space was in it.
Oh yeah.
Really, really funny show. Cheers. Grew up on Cheers. I love Cheers. Mostly sitcom guy, and then I love Sopranos. It's so weird seeing people watching Sopranos for the first time. I'm like, holy shit! I watched that fucker from the beginning. I saw that from the beginning. And Silicon Valley is
underrated. Very good. Yeah.
Holy, the writing and the tie-in to all of the current events, and I don't think there's been a funnier season finale than season 1 of that show, when they're talking about how many guys they can manipulate.
Oh yeah.
And the drawings.
Yep. the pizza drones too. They did that. Like
yeah. The optimal we're dick to floor. We'll call that D2F.
Yeah.
And oh my God, and they're drawing, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the funniest fucking shit I've ever seen. He's like, does the girth matter? I'm like, yeah, kind of does. Oh my God, so friggin' funny. But yeah, Silicon Valley was one of my favorites. And you know what? Ballers.
Oh yeah.
It was outlandish, and it was kind of stupid, but it was also really good too.
Yeah, HBO does really good TV. There's no doubt there.
Yeah.
What? How attached are you to work and stuff? Would you quit if you won the lotto? What would you do if you won the lotto, like tomorrow?
Well, it depends on how much.
We'll say Powerball, the big sucker.
The big sucker?
Oh yeah.
Peace out. You never see me again. Done. Deuces. I'm out. Seriously, out. Done. Unplugging everything. You will not see me write. My writing is gone. Peace out. Deuces. Been fun. I'm out. Quit everything.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. What would you do? Just travel or,
Yeah, probably just, do what I'm doing now. I'm sitting on my ass, watch TV. I have no
Nice.
problem. I have no problem doing that. So I'd get bored. I'm like, nah, I'm good with it. I am absolutely good with it. Like I got pretty. Yeah, I don't know. I think I ended up with food poisoning this weekend. I'm still convinced I had food poisoning this weekend. I didn't throw up or have diarrhea or anything, but like I was really queasy and really nauseous, and just the thought of eating made me sick. I don't know. I had some really bad tacos. I think they were the tacos that I ate, because within a few hours I was feeling crappy.
Ooh.
And so that Saturday morning I couldn't move. My body hurt, still queasy, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta mulch or something. I can't mulch. There's no fucking way I can mulch. I can't even fucking get out. I can't even move. And I get a text from my wife. She's like, I think you should mow today because it's gonna rain, so maybe mulch tomorrow. I'm like,
Ooh.
fuck, I gotta mow because the front yard is just looking like shit. I got all these dandelion spores it just shit's growing. I'm like, I felt like shit. I'm like, I can't. So I had my Michael Jordan food poisoning game and mowed the lawn and went through it. And boy, did I pay the price. And I did. I think I just slept. I think I literally like slept the entire day on Saturday.
Jesus.
And Lori was convinced I had COVID. She's like, you don't have food poisoning. Did you throw up? I'm like, no. She's like, you have diarrhea? I'm like, just one, but She's like, you don't have food poisoning. You have COVID. I'm like, I don't have COVID. She's like, well, your body hurt? I'm like, yeah, because my fucking body's rejecting the fucking tacos I ate yesterday. I was pissed. And she's like, no, you have COVID. I'm like, I don't have COVID. And like, I didn't eat. Nothing sounded good. And the next day I felt like fine. I was like, I was fine. And like, I probably could have mulched, but I kind of sat on my ass watching some golf and watch it. I'm like, I could just sit on my ass all day. I don't care. I could just do nothing. Sleeping, even though I was like feeling sick, sleeping all day Saturday was fantastic.
Yeah.
And doing nothing but watching golf and flipping back. And I seriously, I could do nothing. I'll just I won the 400 million after taxes or whatever it is. I'll set aside some and just live off the interest for the rest of my life. And that is it. I can just do nothing.
I love that. That's a great plan. So if you could time travel, is there any event in history you'd like to see?
Oh God.
Yeah, this is a wonky one. Woodstock, JFK assassination. What do you got? Anything?
Boy, if I could time travel, I'd say I'd want to see the dinosaurs, but I don't want to get eaten. That'd be kind of cool to see because when you fathom like 65 million years ago, when you just fathom that long ago, it's like, how is that even fucking possible?
So assuming you're safe, is that the answer? If you've got guaranteed safety?
I guarantee safety. I'd kind of like to see the dinosaurs. I'm gonna go back and kind of see what all that's about.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know where I don't know. I'm boring. I don't know where I'd go. I don't like.
It could be self-serving.
Yeah, I know. Like I go back. Yeah, go back and Tave, go buy stock in Apple when it's $5. Like I see those time. Like you could time travel if you could go back. If you could take $10 million now or time travel and become a 5-year-old again, knowing what you know now. I'm like, well, yeah, if I did that, I'm not guaranteed my life again.
Right.
I'm not guaranteed that life. I don't know. I might, let's see. I'd like to see Led Zeppelin play in person.
Ooh.
That'd be kind of cool to see them play as a band.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate to see some pretty cool concerts.
Yeah, it'd be a good one.
Oh, I'm boring on that one, I guess.
Yeah, no worries. Are you an aliens guy or a no aliens guy?
There's got to be something out there. I mean, you think how it's infinite.
Right.
How are we the only ones?
Yep.
That is impossible. There's got to be something else out there. I hope to God it's not like Independence Day and all that shit, but these things just cut like or what Cloverfield? Have you seen
Yeah.
Cloverfield? I hope it's. Oh my God! I hope it's not. I gotta hope it's not something like that type of shit.
That's even worse. Cloverfield's fucking worse. Yeah.
Or War of the Worlds.
Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst right there. Yeah.
So, but there's got to be something out there, and hopefully, maybe they've seen what Earth is about and said, "Yeah, nah, we're good.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
We're out. We're good."
No doubt.
But
How
no,
about?
there's got to be something out there.
Oh, I'm with you. So favorite football memory and favorite non-football memory.
Well, I mean, as a Browns fan, I don't really have. I mean, I guess you could say as a Browns fan, my favorite football memory is beating the Steelers in the playoff game a few years ago.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was hands down.
It was beautiful.
Bottom line, gorgeous, beautiful, all of it.
Yep.
Because I mean, as a Browns fan, what do I have? I've got the drive, I've got the fumble, I've got Red Right 88. I got them moving. So yeah, some fantastic stuff. Yeah, just great stuff. I didn't root for anybody while they were away. I watched football, but I didn't root for anybody. You're like, well, we rooted for the Steelers because the Steelers won. I'm like, oh, fuck that. No,
that's gross. No way.
I am fully. If it came down to it, it's like, oh, you have to root for the Steelers or never watch football. I'm like, all right, never watch football again. That's it. Pretty easy. Non-football memory. I mean, just non-football memory are cheesy things,
Yeah.
Probably the first time we took our kids to Disney World.
Ooh.
I think my reaction, my wife always makes fun of. She's like, I think your reaction was even more than the kids. You had a bigger reaction than the kids, but so yeah, the first time taking them to Disney World, and then and then just going on summer vacations with my parents, and that type of stuff. So those are, if we're talking non-football, yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, and then of course all the fun times we had in high school and college that thankfully social media and phones weren't available to record all that shit, and it doesn't exist.
Yeah, seriously, man. Yeah, I mean, do you have one that sticks out? I mean, I don't want you to self-incriminate, but if you got something...
God, there was a funny, oh my God, my favorite one. It was me and a couple of buddies, my buddies Ben and Larry. It was a Saturday night, and it's a very rainy, sleety night.
Mm-hmm.
And we were on our way to somebody else's house, and I turned down the street, and for whatever reason, I gun it, pedal to the floor on a sleety night.
Oh boy.
And my buddy's like, dude, slow down. What do you got to be going like Mach 5? And then my buddy in the back is like, dude's house is coming up. And of course, what do? You slam on the brakes.
Oh, yeah.
Lose total control of the car.
Ooh.
And I'm headed towards a parked car.
Oh, no.
And my buddy's like, dude, turn. And I'm trying to turn. And by the grace of God, shifted out of the way, avoided this parked car, go up on the snow embankment and launch this dude's mailbox 50 feet onto his front door.
Oh, no. No.
So we're okay. And I'm like, is everybody okay? He's like, yeah, dude, what the fuck? What are you doing? And my buddy in the front seat's like, dude, we got to get the fuck out of here. We do. We back up and we take off. And so we take off around the street and park, and we just start laughing. And we're just like, dude, we almost died. We almost hit that parked car. You almost launched me through the windshield. I'm like, dude, you're not wearing your seatbelt, so that's not my fault.
Right.
So we're just laughing. He's like, all right, well, we check on the car and a little bit of damage. And it's like, well, what do we do now? He's like, let's go back and see where this dude's mailbox landed. So of course we go back to the scene of the crime.
Jesus.
And yeah, dude's mailbox is like on his front doorstep. I launched this fucking thing. And yeah, and it's like, all right, no, dude, we gotta go. And so again, we didn't end up going to this kid's, this other guy's house. But we just are hysterical. And Monday we all have a class together. We had like a civics class, and we're all in the same class together. My one buddy's on the one side of the room. My other buddy's like sitting behind him, and we're just like looking at each other, and we just have our heads down, and we look at each other, we just start laughing, and we're just like,
oh man, you guys got lucky. It's hey, what's up? Yeah, you guys got lucky that that dude didn't come out, man. That could have been bad.
That could have been real bad. But but yeah, that was definitely one funny thing. And then there's another time I was really not good. I was not a good driver.
Oh Jesus.
So buddy of mine just blazed up, and we're leaving where we were. And so I'm driving, and I'm paying attention, but I'm not paying attention. But I'm driving, and I'm not speeding. Like, I'm going like 30 and a 25. So I'm not even doing anything wrong. So I'm driving, I'm in this like park area, and there's not much there. There's no like side rail or anything. It's just kind of ditch. And I'm driving, and for whatever reason, my buddy goes, dude, cop.
Oh,
and he passes me, and I'm like, what?
Oh.
And yeah, I wheel like right into the ditch.
Oh Jesus. Oh man.
Luckily, I was able to get out. The cop didn't see me do this, thankfully.
Whoa. Jesus. Yeah, no, that would scare the shit out of me right there. Good God.
And I did have a gun drawn on me once.
Wow.
Yeah.
By a cop.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. As a freshman in college, coming home for the weekend, and I had really, really long hair at the time, but the car I had, the rear defroster didn't work very well. So I'm just, I'm coming home from Toledo, got the cruise control set at 81, and it's in a 65, and I'm just fucking going, and I'm not really, you can. So then next thing I know, I look up and you see the lights. I'm like, oh shit. And I pull over, and I look in my rear view mirror, and I see this.
What?
And I'm like, oh shit. And he's like walking up on me, like, because I don't know how long I've been I don't know how long I'd been driving with him
Oh,
chasing me.
Jesus.
So and I'm like, no, here,
Yeah, right.
here,
Here are the hands.
here are the hands. And
uh,
he's like, dude, he's like, why didn't you pull over right away? I'm like, I wasn't paying attention to you and I didn't see you. And because of my rear view, I probably my rear defroster, and sorry.
Jesus.
So
Oof.
that was a harrowing experience.
Yeah, that'll put
That'll
some
wake you up.
yeah. Jesus Christ, man. So I
So,
mean that I think that qualifies for the next question, but maybe you got something else too. What's something hard you've overcome that you learned from?
oh God, I mean, I have been through like so many like jobs over the last like I'd almost say like decade. Like nothing phases me anymore. Like my wife always gets like stressed out. I'm
Yeah.
just like, psh. So pretty much that. Like just battling through that and just dealing through that. Like the first couple times I was like, oh, what the fuck am I gonna do? But it's like spidey senses sink in. You're like, all right, this is not gonna go well. Time to move on to the next thing. Try to look for the next thing, see what happens. Catch it at the choke point before anything bad happens.
Yeah. Definitely,
So
man.
pretty much that. We've been, unemployment sucks, and
Yeah.
been on it a bunch of times, and it's not fun. And you know, um, so yeah, just that type of shit. Being on that, it's not fun, but you just kind of adapt to it and you grow to it, and you're like, all right, you kind of anticipate. So yeah, just that.
Yeah, definitely. Just keeping yourself in a good situation. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there were times when you wake up and you just are like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Well, and you just there are times you just wake up and you cry and but you got to get up and get outside. Just try to do what you can to just get your mind away from it. There was a time, I think it was 2020. I was unemployed for a while, and you fire off
Yeah.
you fire off your resumes, and it's like, all right, I can't be sitting by the phone waiting for people to call me back or email. And it's like, so it kind of happened at a kind of a funny time where it's like, all right, I'm just going to go outside and do yard work. Just fuck it. I'm going to do leaves and pick up all leaves and do all that shit, whatever. I get outside, got to get away from it.
Yep.
I think that's what you have to, and if social media is giving you shit, just step away from it. Get away.
Yeah.
Get away. Like not being on, like I was not on my computer all weekend, and it was great. I think Z-Mags actually DM'd me. He's like, dude, you okay? I'm like, I was actually sick Saturday. I felt, I I think I might have had food poisoning. I just haven't been online.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, but it was fantastic.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's this shit poisoned you too much of that social media. It's brutal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is actually a Z-Max question. Do you have like a line you would use if you're about to go out in like a blaze of glory?
Oh man.
I know that's a tough one.
Boy, that's a
That is a tough one.
I'd almost like to do something from like the other guys.
Ooh.
Like, peace out, bitches.
Yeah.
Something like that, or I don't know if I'd yell out America. But man, that's a great question. I know I'd almost like to go out like the Rick and Morty gift, just like,
Yeah, double birds. Right. Yep. That's perfect. I like that.
or the DX chop.
Yeah.
DX chop is always good.
Always
Suck it.
appropriate. Yep.
Got
That's
2 words for you. Suck it. Boy, if am I, not only am my parents, but I should say I'm lucky I wasn't in like middle school or elementary school, like like I wasn't in elementary, middle school during the Attitude DX era. I'm so lucky I was kind of past that in college during the Attitude era, because I totally would have been DX chopping my teachers and friends and everything in class. Like after any presentation, I'd be like, boom, and then principal's office, you're gone.
Saved you some suspensions, probably.
Saved me, yeah, because I didn't have any suspensions in school, but boy, it was between Stone Cold giving everybody the bird, and the DX chop. I probably would have had several.
Oh man, good timing there. So speaking of getting in trouble, it's the hot water section, and then we're wrapping up. So hot water. What's your favorite platform and why? Let's start there.
Platform in terms of?
Just fantasy platform.
I don't know. I kind of,
because that's
kind of have all their warts.
Right, and that's the big debate, right? Especially in the off season.
Tell you the one I don't like. I don't like fan tracks.
Yeah.
If I never use that one again, it would be too soon. And no offense, but the user interface just was no bueno on that one. I'd probably still have to use MFL. I'd probably still say more of my leagues are on MFL than any others.
Yep.
I do like what ESPN did with Edge.
Yeah.
But even still, there's just some wonkiness and some UX weirdness to it. Yahoo's always been like the easiest one to use, though. It's just so it's. But I think sometimes they just overthink. It's like, dude, just let me do this. Can you just do this and not have all these extra steps? I just want to do this. Yeah. Sometimes overthink things, but yeah, I think, like I said, I think I've got more of my leagues are on MFL than I think anywhere else.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a classic. What's your typical approach when you're drafting IDP? All things being even, we'll say true position league. Are you a DE, DT guy first, linebacker guy first? What's your approach?
I'm a whore for linebackers. I say it every year that I'm gonna not pay attention. Every year it's like, all right, I'm gonna go D heavy, and I just never do, and I'm a linebacker whore. I think though with linebackers, it's weird. I mean, it used to be, I don't know. I think full-time guys are dwindling. I think linebackers deep, but it kind of is not.
Yeah.
Kind of like it was his running back. I mean, with running back, you got a few bell cow guys, and then you got your useful guys, but you just don't know how they're going to be on a week 2, and that's kind of how linebackers go. And your full-time guys are kind of dwindling a little bit. Used to avoid the guy. It was hysterical. It's like, oh, dude, that guy's only playing 80% of the snaps. Fuck him.
Right.
Now it's like, all right, that's my LB3.
Yep, that was fucking Jordan Brooks last year.
So, but yeah, like, oh, Jermaine Pratt, 70. Yeah, well, I gotta fucking play him. He's 75. Now it's like 75, 80%. You gotta kind of play those guys now.
Yeah, it's coming back around. It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And fantasy Twitter thoughts in general. Yeah, I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but what's your take just in general?
I think some of it is still, it's kind of going almost the engagement farming route. I think there's still a little bit too much of that, and I just still think there's a lot of, and I know I'm guilty of it at some point, and I know I'm guilty of it sometimes, but it's just, I try not to do the, this guy did this and you don't care, those types of things. But it's just, I don't know. I think if people just ignored things that didn't matter, I think it might be a little bit better. And if people interacted with a little bit more civility, I think things would be better. Because I know whenever I see something, I know I want to hit reply and be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
I'm like, that's useless. It's pointless to do that. But it's still not all bad. I think the majority of it is still fine. But I think IDP Twitter has gotten infiltrated by some of the toxicity, of course, but I still don't think it holds a candle to some of the other subsections of Twitter, like
Oh yeah.
like DFS Twitter and all that stuff, and some of that stuff. They're
Yep.
But again, you make it what you make what it is. I mean,
right.
If you're not having a good time, or if something is bothering, it's also take a look to see also what you're following and what you're responding to, because I think that also has a lot to do with it. Like if you hate, I mean, especially when it comes to politics, if you hate the left or if you hate all right, then stop paying attention. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't have an answer. Don't
interact.
Don't interact with that,
and you won't see it. Yeah.
And do something outside of social media, because I think Chappelle said it right. Social media is not real life, and he kind of has a point. It's almost not real life. If you are passionate about something, go volunteer, and go volunteer for an organization, or go volunteer for a cause, or go volunteer for a campaign, or for a candidate, or something. Do something like that, because you know what? I'm sorry, a hashtag isn't going to do shit.
Yep.
It doesn't do anything. Go, go volunteer, go do something. And just be active and vote, and just do all that shit. Do that. Get involved in that stuff. And because responding to a senator isn't going to do anything.
Right.
If a senator tweets out something and responding to it, it's not going to matter, because one, if you've gone through any type, if you've seen a senator tweet something, how many I've never seen a response.
Right. And it's not even them, it's some aide.
Yeah. So I mean, you can tweet till you're blue in the face about something. It's not going to matter. You need to just get involved somehow.
Yep.
And that's where the action is. And especially at a local level, because that's where a lot of the things that affect you happen. It's obviously, with everything that's happening within the Supreme Court, that's affecting a lot of people now. But really, a lot of the local government stuff is where a lot of things happen that affect you as a whole. So yeah, volunteer, get involved, step away, and that's really all I can say about it.
Right. Live your real life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah. Control what you can control, and don't sweat the small stuff. The small stuff is what's going to kill you.
Definitely, man. So, all right, we'll wrap up with just a couple more here. So, what are you working on this season? Any upcoming projects? What articles are you doing? Things like that.
Just finally finished up my rookie DB articles to target for redraft, and now moving on to breaking down all my ranks into tiers. And so doing my tier breakdowns here over the next week or so.
Nice. And yeah, anything you want to plug, talk about, floor is yours.
No, just 4for4. Got good people over there. Come check us out. My ranks are up. Check out IDP guys. Check out everybody. Check out Macri. Check out the IDP show. Check out the Tooth. Check out everybody. And just yeah, I think like I said, Bill and Ted, I think, said it best. Be excellent to each other, and let's party on, dudes. Let's just yeah, just be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes.
Awesome. I love that. We'll get you out here on this. Do you think that road rage is poop related?
I think all my rage incidents have not had anything really to do with poop. It's always been just dealing with the assholes in front of me and how they can't drive. I think that's how I got my speeding ticket in Charleston this year. I was behind this asshole that was going 70, 69, 70. The speed limit was 70. And I'm like, I can't do this shit anymore. And went around him, accelerated. As soon as I got around him, there was a cop there. I'm like, fuck.
Oh.
And he nailed me. Luckily, he got me. He dropped me down from 82 in a 70 to 79 in a 70. So at least he cut me a little bit of a deal.
Yeah, there you go.
But I will tell you, there is nothing worse though than being in the car and having to go.
Oh yeah.
There's absolutely nothing. That is awful. Because that is awful. I can attest to that.
Good shit. Well, Mike, thank you, sir. Anyone and everyone should be following him on Twitter at Mike_Woellert. He is a writer for 4for4. He is one of the founding fathers of the IDP community, and he's a hell of a dude. Mike, thank you for coming on.
Appreciate it, Johnny. Thank you for having me. And I hope I don't get us canceled here.
Oh, no worries. We've said worse. We'll see you guys all next Monday in the morning. Have a good week. Take care. Bye-bye.